What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tight Bass Lines TV. Today is Tackle Tip Thursday, and we're going to be talking about Carolina rigging. The first thing I look for when I'm Carolina rig is, of course, I like to fish rock or flat or grass. Any of those structures, even wood, like tree stumps that are stuck in the water, is good for a Carolina rig. Whenever that water temperature is about 45 degrees and higher, is game on for a Carolina rig. And I'm going to show you a couple ways to rig it, a couple baits I like, the hooks I like, the line, I mean everything. I'm going to explain everything. And really any time is good for Carolina rig. It could be cloudy, rainy, sunny, the dog days of summer. I mean, Carolina rig always works. So I'm going to show you a couple ways. I like to use an egg sinker, an egg weight. I like to use a 1 ounce, whether I'm fishing 3 foot or I'm fishing 25 foot. I like 1 ounce. So I have this on a 7'6" Micro Magic. This is the heavy rod, and I have that with the loose 7:1:1 gear ratio reel. I like a fast reel so you can pick up all that slack and set the hook on them. And that 17-pound K9 fluorocarbon. So I got my 1 ounce egg sinker on there already, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get my beads out. The beads I like to use, most of the time it's clear white beads, but I found this year, these little tungsten beads. I don't even remember who makes them, but I use 2 beads every time. I don't like 1 because it just doesn't cause enough noise, but with 2, when that thing drops, I mean, you hear that every time, and that's what the fish look for, is that noise, and then soon later they'll follow the bait that's right after. I use a number 8 swivel, and then if you do this the right way, then you can tie them all 1 knot. But I'm going to show you, in case you're in a hurry and you can't tie them all 1 knot, then this is just a quick way. On the first one, I'll use a Palomar knot, and I'll do this another video of exactly how you tie a Palomar knot, but I'll do it real quick here. So, Palomar knot, make sure you moisten your line, and then you want to cut your tag end off. Alright, now this causes a lot of controversy. A lot of people don't want to use the same pound test that they use when they're as their main line. I personally like to do that, and sometimes I go a little bit lighter on the pound test if the rock isn't as chunky or it's not cutting my line or stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 17-pound K9, and I'm going to tie it to my swivel just now. And so a lot of people think, they think I'm different because I do this, but the max leader line I use is about 18 inches. A lot of people like 3 foot and all that. I just can't find myself to use it yet because I haven't been fishing long enough, you could say. But I've always had a good amount of success. So I'm gonna tie this. I can't remember what knot this is. This is something I learned when I was a kid, but it never fails me. So this is one of my backup knots to use. It may be called a San Diego jam knot, I'm not for sure. Then you moisten the line, cut your tag end off. Okay, so then I kind of gauge it on how long I want it. Like, that's probably good. Okay, so we got the line out of the way. Now, I have a couple hooks. It depends on what bait I am throwing will determine what hook I use. Like, this is a light wire number 3/0 trapper tackle hook, and this is a heavy gauge wire number 5/0 trapper tackle hook. And yeah, it all depends on what I'm throwing or what kind of cover I'm throwing, because I don't really want that hook to bend out when I am getting hung up or something. So this 5/0 hook I'm going to tie on here real quick. I'm going to show you a couple different baits that I like to throw on this Carolina rig. Let's see, let's tie it on. So this one, since it's not connected to anything, I can tie my Palomar knot, which is my favorite knot. Unless I'm flipping, then I'll tie a snell knot. So yeah, you get that. Moisten the line. Alright, now time for my favorite baits I like to throw. Now, a lot of people don't know this little trick, but if the fish are really finicky and they don't want any of these bulky baits that I'm going to show you, then I like to throw what is a trick worm, or even the finesse worm works really good. And what I'll do with that one, I'll throw that on the light wire hook, the smaller trapper hook, which it fits perfect on that trick worm or the finesse worm. But that's only when they stop biting that, or they don't want that big profile. But a couple different baits that I like to throw on this, especially when you're around smallmouth. This is my go-to bait when I'm around smallmouth and I'm Carolina rigging. It is going to be a twin tail grub or a single tail grub, which I would have to throw that on a smaller hook because it's a smaller body bait. So it'd probably be that. It'd probably go to a 2/0 trapper tackle hook, but that is a killer bait, and that's in green pumpkin. Green pumpkin is an all-around color. You can fish that anywhere you go, and you will get bit on that green pumpkin. And then, as far as crawls and my other baits, I will throw this case plastic cash crawl that's in green pumpkin as well, or I will throw this baby brush hog in green pumpkin. So I'll throw any of those, or I'll throw a fluke. I like watermelon seed or green pumpkin with the fluke. They eat that one just as good as any other. I'm gonna put this baby brush hog and just show you how I like to rig it and stuff. So I'll still use, you can use the big brush hog. I just found that I can get a little bit more on the baby brush hog. You're still gonna get quality bites. A Carolina rig catches a lot of fish and it catches big fish. So you gotta make sure your knots are always good, your line is always good, your rods, everything is good. So I just rigged that baby brush hog right up on that trapper tackle hook in that little spot. Keeps it flush on there. Now, no matter what, I don't care where I'm at, I always use Spike It or some type of scent. I dye the lower body of the anything. If it's a trick worm, I'll do the tail. If it's the brush hog, I'm going to do all this lower body. If it's the grub, I'll do the tail. If it's the cash crawl, I'll do the pinchers. So you just take this, you dip it in there, and now that comes out with the green, chartreuse coloring on there. And then you should have a Ziploc bag for this because this stuff does get messy. So now that is my setup. I got that 1-ounce egg sinker there, the 2 tungsten beads, or you can use clear glass beads. Those work really good as well. The number 8 swivel, the same line that I'm using for my main line, 17-pound K9, trapper tackle hook, and crawl baits. I mean, anything will work on a Carolina rig. That 7'6" heavy ducket rod and that loose 7:1 gear ratio. Now with this rod, it's super sensitive, but it has great backbone. See, you can get the sensitivity out of it, so you will feel every rock that you hit. You will feel when that fish picks it up, but you're still going to get the backbone to jerk them out of the rock, whatever cover they're in. I mean, you can lay the hammer on them when it comes to that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this clip of me fishing a point on Timms Ford Lake and catching a nice bass. Oh shit. Yep. Get a line to read. That'd be a keeper in the tournament. I was fishing a point on Timms Ford and I'm fishing some chunk rock. There's a little bit of pea gravel, but most of it's chunk rock out there. And I would just throw it with that rod, you can really swing it. So I threw it as far as I could. And what I like to do is, when I'm slinging it out there, I got 2 ways that I will retrieve it. I will either drag it sideways, I do mine at a moderate speed when I'm dragging. I can't sit there and slowly tick it. I sit there and drag it kind of fast, reel up, drag it. Or you can reel straight up. I mean, I see a lot of people that go like that, and then they reel up, go like that, and it's really your preference of what you want to do. But that's how I do it. And again, that was that that long rod, which you really see the shallow here. And that K9 line is real sensitive and thin. You can really fit a bunch on the spool. And that trapper tackle hook, that box of the hook right there, that's going to get them every time. You're not going to lose fish. You don't lose many fish on a Carolina rig unless you're not retying, because when you're beating up on them rocks, you're going to have to retie throughout the day. I don't care what brand of line you use, you're going to have to retie. But I trust K9. Even when my line's messed up, I haven't had a problem with them. So remember that spike it on the end of any crawl bait you're using, any bait you're using on a Carolina rig. And remember, don't be scared to go to the finesse worm if they're not eating a crawl bait or stuff. That finesse worm works awesome. So that is your tackle tip. That's the Carolina rig. And until next time, y'all be good on the water. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Tell me what kind of tips you'd like to see next time. And until then, I will see you guys later.